At the wheel is Dwight Yoakam, the man who hauled honky-tonk from Kentucky honky-tonks into Los Angeles rock clubs, sold over 30 million albums, and became a familiar face on Hollywood screens. Beyond the curve sits his 12.6-acre California ranch, where neon nights give way to ocean breezes. In this video, you'll step inside his hideaway, trace his journey from outsider to icon, tour his cars and guitars, and see how a honky-tonk legend built a cowboy life on the Pacific. But first, let's step back to the career that made it all possible. Born in 1956 in Pikeville, Kentucky, and raised in Columbus, Ohio, he grew up in a working-class family where country radio mixed with top 40 and Sunday church hymns. He picked up a guitar as a kid, performed in school plays, and soaked up the twang of Merle Haggard and Buck Owens, while secretly admiring Elvis's swagger. By his teens, he was writing songs and fronting garage bands, blending honky-tonk sincerity with rock and roll drive, a tension that would define his career. After a brief stint at Ohio State University, Yoakam took his songs to Nashville, only to discover the city wasn't ready for his brand of hard-edged honky-tonk. Labels wanted country-politan polish, not a Kentucky kid who dressed like a rock star. Rather than compromise, he headed west to Los Angeles in 1977, renting cheap apartments and hustling gigs wherever he could. He played the same clubs as punk and rock acts, learning stagecraft from bands like X and the Blasters. It was an unlikely training ground, but the mix of rowdy energy and sharp songwriting helped him forge a sound that felt both classic and brand new. That gamble paid off with a self-financed EP that became the foundation for his breakthrough album, Guitars, Cadillacs, etc., etc. 1986. Its lead single, a revved-up cover of Johnny Horton's Honky Tonk Man, cracked the country top 5 and introduced mainstream audiences to Yoakam's Bakersfield-influenced style. Critics called it a revival, but it was more like a reinvention. Tight, twangy, and lean, with rock club urgency and honky-tonk heart. The late 80s were a golden run. Albums like Hillbilly Deluxe, 1987, and Buenas Noches from a Lonely Room, 1988, cemented his reputation. The latter produced his first #1 hit, Streets of Bakersfield, a duet with his hero Buck Owens that symbolically passed the torch from the Bakersfield era to a new generation. Yoakam became a fixture on country radio while still packing rock venues, a crossover few had achieved since Johnny Cash. He didn't slow down in the 1990s. If There Was a Way went double platinum, this time went triple platinum, and his live shows mixed his own hits with bold covers of everyone from Elvis to The Clash. His stage outfits, skinny jeans, rhinestoned jackets, low-slung guitars, turned him into a style icon as much as a country star. For American audiences used to clean-cut hat acts, Yoakam was the alternative. Edgy yet traditional, cool yet rootsy. In the 2000s and 2010s, he continued to evolve. Blame the Vein, 2005, showed he could produce himself without longtime collaborator Pete Anderson. Three Pairs, 2012, co-produced with Beck, won critical raves for its adventurous spirit. He toured steadily, including the high-profile LSD tour with Lucinda Williams and Steve Earle in 2022, and celebrated the 30th anniversary of Hillbilly Deluxe with a sold-out show at the Ryman. In 2024, he announced Brighter Days, a new album promising a return to his honky-tonk roots with a California twist. Yoakam also built a parallel career in front of the camera. Since his acting debut in the early 90s, he has appeared in more than 20 films, including memorable turns in Sling Blade, Panic Room, and Logan Lucky, as well as TV series like Goliath. He's played villains, drifters, and preachers, always bringing the same understated intensity he shows on stage. From a Columbus garage band to Hollywood sets and the Grand Ole Opry stage, Dwight Yoakam built a career as unconventional as the ranch he now calls home. California Ranch, Rustic retreat meets Malibu views. Perched high above the Pacific, Dwight Yoakam's Bony Pony Ranch looks like a scene out of an old western spliced with a California travel ad. He acquired the 12.6-acre spread in the late 1990s, a time when his career was booming and Los Angeles had fully embraced his brand of honky-tonk. The property sits on a hillside with sweeping ocean views that roll from Malibu's beaches to the distant Channel Islands. On approach, the driveway winds through sagebrush and chaparral, past hand-built fences and horse paddocks, making you feel as if you've stumbled onto a Hollywood backlot where the cowboy has finally come home. The main residence is pure ranch-style charm with California polish. Exposed wood beams give every room a sense of warmth and permanence, while wide windows bring in light and salt air. There are 3 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms, but the real story is the flow. A spacious living room leads to a den, kitchen, and dining area designed for gatherings, anything from a quiet writing session to an after-show jam with friends. The family room, anchored by a stone fireplace, feels like a set from a classic album cover. Boots by the door, guitar in the corner, Pacific sunset just outside. Yoakam didn't just buy a house, he built a haven for his California cowboy persona. The garage is large enough for 3 vehicles with plenty of storage, ideal for a man whose work takes him from tour buses to film sets. Outside, the horse facilities rival anything you'd find at a professional training center. A custom-designed 3-stall stable sits next to a riding room, 3 outdoor corrals, and a professionally designed riding arena with specially prepared footing for optimal performance. For Yoakam, who grew up singing about honky-tonks and highways, this is the literal embodiment of freedom. A place where the only noise is the crunch of hooves on dirt. An extensive trail system lies just a short trailer ride away, connecting the property to miles of Malibu Canyon's riding paths. It's the perfect base for anyone who loves the equestrian lifestyle, or simply wants to swap neon lights for starlit skies. Between the rustic porches, the Pacific views, and the echo of country songs floating from an open window, Bony Pony feels like an album come to life. A fusion of honky-tonk grit and California ease. Whether you're looking at it as a peaceful retreat or a fully equipped equestrian estate, this is a one-of-a-kind property that wraps luxury living around a true passion for horses. And just as this ranch reveals Yoakam's western side, his other California property shows a very different facet of his world. The Los Angeles mansion, where the neon energy of his career still hums. Mansion in Los Angeles, California. Purchased for about $4 million, this 3,257-square-foot Spanish colonial-style home was built in 1932 by silent film star Donald Crisp and sits on one of the most legendary streets in Los Angeles. Mulholland is where the city's dreamers and dealmakers go for privacy with a view, and Yoakam's property delivers both. A quiet refuge just south of Ventura Boulevard, yet minutes from the studios where he records and films. The house blends historic grandeur with modern upgrades. A reclaimed Douglas fir beam from Howard Hughes's former Oakland airport spans the upgraded family room, literally connecting the home to a slice of aviation history. French oak floors and hand-wrought iron lighting exude timeless sophistication, while a custom double-sided stone fireplace anchors the living area, creating a cozy yet open flow between rooms. These spaces slide seamlessly into the formal dining room and a kitchen that feels like a stage for culinary performance. The kitchen itself is a showstopper. Calcutta gold and soapstone marble countertops, a Sub-Zero refrigerator, a Wolf 6-burner stove with M-Series double oven and grill, and custom cabinetry with antique European sliding doors and solid brass hardware. It's a chef's dream, but also a craftsman's showcase, echoing the detail Yoakam brings to his music. Downstairs, a spacious ensuite bedroom and bonus room provide flexible space for an office, studio, or guest suite. Upstairs are 3 more bedrooms, including a master suite with a large spa-style bathroom and built-in closets. Each is generously proportioned and designed with comfort and style in mind, offering Yoakum and his family privacy even when the house is full of friends, musicians, or film collaborators. The outdoor living spaces amplify the home's Spanish colonial charm. On a 16,028 square foot lot, drought-resistant landscaping frames sprawling rows and succulent gardens. Custom Spanish tile adorns the front staircase and outdoor grilling area, while elegantly deconstructed stone and granite hardscaping lead to multiple seating nooks. There's an outdoor kitchen, a spacious dining area with a custom fireplace and built-in chaise longue, and heated seating areas tucked beneath lush greenery. A renovated saltwater pool and newly heated hot tub sparkle like jewels in the courtyard, while a sports court, wine cellar, enclosed planters, and an artist's office make the property as versatile as it is beautiful. Direct access to the secluded Deervale Trail adds one more perk: a hiking escape that feels worlds away from LA's noise. If the Malibu Ranch is where Yoakum channels his inner cowboy, this Mulholland mansion is where he polishes the star persona, and just beyond its Spanish-tiled gates sits another chapter of his story: the cars that carry him between stages, sets, and hideaways. Cars. First up is a Chevrolet Corvette C6, a slice of American muscle that still turns heads. With a 6.0-liter V8 pushing out more than 400 horsepower and a 0 to 60 time of about 4.3 seconds, it's a sleek convertible that he loves to take on the Pacific Coast Highway. Picture the honky-tonk legend in his signature cowboy hat, top-down, Bakersfield twang on the stereo. Kentucky roots meet California curves. It's not just a car, it's a rolling metaphor for the way he bent country music to new shapes. Then there's his Range Rover Sport SVR, a very different kind of ride. With a 575 horsepower supercharged V8, off-road suspension, and a plush leather cabin, it's a go-anywhere vehicle built for Malibu hills, hidden trailheads, or high-stakes meetings on the Strip. It's a choice that says, I can handle the red carpet or a muddy back road and do it in style. The contrast sums him up. On stage, he's all high-energy Telecaster twang. Off-stage, he prefers machines that balance flash and function. A muscle car for the open highway, an SUV for the hidden canyons. And just as his cars speak to his dual identity, so does the collection inside his home, a wall of guitars that tells the story of a career in chords. Guitar collection. Front and center is the Epiphone Casino, famous for its hollow maple body and vintage-style P90 single-coil pickups. Warm, vibrant, and endlessly expressive, the Casino has been the go-to for legends from the Beatles to Keith Richards. Yoakum's personal model features two P90s and a full-bodied tone that suits everything from Bakersfield twang to Memphis shuffle. Epiphone even released a limited edition elitist Dwight Yoakam Dwight Trash Casino outfit, designed in collaboration with him, making his name part of the instrument's lore. Next come his Fender Telecasters, the bright, cutting workhorses of country and rock. Crafted with three-piece ash bodies for a strong, resonant sound, Yoakum's Telas include a particularly notable one once played by Pete Anderson during the recording of Guitars, Cadillacs, etc., etc., the guitar that helped launch his career. For acoustic power, Yoakum turns to the Gibson J200, a jumbo that can fill a room with its deep, rich tone. Its large body and sparkling highs make it ideal for rhythm or lead, studio or stage. He also owns rarities like the Martin DD28 Pistol, a highly collectible guitar with a distinctive design and a deluxe 1970s blue die-cast hard case, part instrument, part artifact. Beyond the guitars themselves, Yoakum's rig includes vintage amps, acoustic amps, effects, and carefully chosen strings and picks, the invisible ingredients of the Dwight sound that fans hear live and on record. From these walls of wood and steel to the ranch and the stage, Yoakum has built a living museum of tone. And just as his guitars tell the story of a career, his finances tell the story of how those songs turned into lasting wealth. income, and net worth. Unlike a flash-in-the-pan pop act, Yoakum built his wealth through consistency. Album by album, tour by tour, roll by roll. Analysts peg Dwight Yoakum's net worth at roughly $50 million. On the music side alone, the numbers are staggering. He has sold more than 30 million records worldwide, earning 12 gold, 9 platinum, and 1 triple platinum certifications. Between album advances, royalties, and publishing income, that catalog has generated an estimated $20 to $25 million over his career. Because Yoakum retained significant control of his publishing, he continues to draw royalties whenever Guitars, Cadillacs, or Streets of Bakersfield pops up in a movie, TV series, or commercial. A slow, steady drip of revenue that most Nashville artists only dream of. Touring has been another pillar. From county fairs to co-headlining arenas, Yoakum has never really stopped performing. Decades of steady festival appearances, residencies, and national tours have yielded another $10 to $15 million cumulatively, proving that a loyal fan base can be as valuable as a radio hit. Even as streaming changed the industry, his live shows remained a dependable engine of cash flow and brand visibility. Acting added a new revenue stream. Over 20 films and multiple TV shows, including Sling Blade, Panic Room, Logan Lucky, and Amazon's Goliath, have earned him not just upfront fees, but residuals estimated at $5 to $8 million. For an artist whose first auditions were on a honky-tonk stage, Hollywood became both a creative outlet and a financial cushion. Yoakum also ventured into business. His Bakersfield Biscuits food line and merchandising deals have reportedly generated $3 to $5 million, extending his brand into kitchens and closets. Combine that with awards and licensing income, 2 Grammys, sync deals, and the underlying value of his song catalog, and you can add another $2 to $4 million to the ledger. Yet the measure of a legend isn't just royalties and ranches, it's the causes he champions. Philanthropy. One of his longest-running commitments has been to music education. As a longtime supporter of the Grammy Foundation, Yoakum has helped bring instruments, mentorship, and music business training to underserved schools. He's performed at benefit concerts, visited classrooms, and underwritten programs that introduce students to everything from songwriting to audio engineering. For kids who might only know country music from a passing radio station, a visit from a star like Yoakum shows that their own stories and sounds matter. He's also a fixture at health-related fundraisers. Yoakum has appeared at high-profile events for the American Cancer Society and the T.J. Martell Foundation, which funds research into leukemia, cancer, and AIDS. Rather than just lending his name, he has performed intimate acoustic sets at gala dinners and quietly matched donations from fans. These efforts have raised millions over the years, turning his twang into a tool for medical breakthroughs. Closer to home, Yoakum has supported organizations that address homelessness and hunger. He's a regular donor to the Midnight Mission in Los Angeles, a nonprofit that provides food, shelter, medical care, and recovery services on Skid Row. He's performed at benefit concerts, brought in celebrity friends to amplify the cause, and used his media appearances to talk about the importance of dignity and second chances for people on the margins. Another cause close to his heart is veterans' welfare. Yoakum has performed at events and donated to groups tackling PTSD and reintegration challenges for service members returning from war zones. His honky-tonk catalog includes plenty of songs about drifters and outcasts. In supporting veterans, he's tried to ensure that those who served don't end up living those stories. What stands out is the way Yoakum structures his giving. He doesn't just write one-off checks or appear at a single gala. Like LeBron James's I Promise School or the long-term foundations run by NFL veterans, Yoakum's philanthropy is built around enduring partnerships. By attaching his name and time to established organizations, he helps them attract ongoing funding and keep programs running long after the spotlight moves on. For Yoakum, Every chord off stage matters as much as the ones on it. For all his platinum albums and film credits, Dwight Yoakam's personal life has been a mix of classic celebrity intrigue and small-town discretion. Personal life. In the early 90s, he became tabloid fodder when he briefly dated Sharon Stone in 1992, at the height of her Basic Instinct fame. 2 years later, he entered a longer, steadier relationship with MTV VJ and actress Karen Duffy from 1994 to 1996. Both romances were high-profile at the time, a contrast to Yoakam's low-key nature off-stage. After years of bachelorhood, Yoakam surprised fans by announcing that he had quietly married Emily Joyce on May 4, 2020, in a private ceremony in Santa Monica. The wedding took place during the pandemic with only a handful of witnesses and followed nearly a decade of dating. 3 months later, on August 16, 2020, the couple welcomed their first child, turning Yoakam from honky-tonk icon into first-time father at 63. He has since spoken about how fatherhood reoriented his priorities, making mornings on the ranch as important as nights on the stage. Not all of his off-stage headlines have been romantic. In 2004, Yoakam became embroiled in a lawsuit with his longtime guitarist and producer Pete Anderson over concert proceeds and creative control. The case was eventually settled, but it marked the end of one of country music's most famous artist-producer partnerships. More recently, in 2021, he sparred with Warner Music over streaming rights and royalty statements, a dispute emblematic of the digital era's tension between legacy artists and labels. Yoakam ultimately reached a new licensing agreement, ensuring his catalog remains accessible while protecting his publishing stake. Despite these bumps, his public image has remained remarkably consistent. Yoakam is instantly recognizable in his signature cowboy hat, skinny jeans, and bespoke boots, a look that blends Bakersfield grit with Hollywood polish. He helped redefine the country star aesthetic, proving you could be rootsy without looking retrograde and cool without abandoning twang. Even today, that silhouette, hat brim low, guitar slung high, signals a brand as distinctive as any logo. Day to day, he splits his time between his Spanish colonial mansion in Los Angeles and his Malibu ranch, living out the Western dream he once only sang about. Mornings might start with coffee and songwriting on the porch. Afternoons could mean horse riding in the hills or rehearsing a film script. Evenings bring family dinners and quiet time with Emily and their son. It's a rhythm that fuses the two halves of his career, honky-tonk troubadour and Hollywood actor, into one balanced life. Thank you for riding along with us through Dwight Yoakam's world. If you enjoyed this journey, please hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell so you'll never miss another deep dive. From our team to you, thanks for watching and for being part of this growing community of curious, passionate fans.